ZGRWhyUDead! And welcome back to my Dark Souls playthrough. This is the early game preparation section of the game, and what I'm going to do is use the souls that I got from the Undead Asylum to level up some statistics. I'm going to level up Strength to 10 and Dexterity to 13 because those are the stats that I'm going to need to wield the Falcon, which I'm going to be using as my weapon throughout the entire game.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess, fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blighttown. Ring them both, and something happened. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead? Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
Now, for those who haven't played Demon Souls or Dark Souls, as you kill enemies, you earn souls from killing them. There's also items that you can find that give you souls as well. And souls in the game are used as a sort of currency to both purchase items and weapons and upgrade your gear. And it's also used to level up your statistics. You spend a certain amount of souls that increases each time you level, and that lets you allocate 1 point into a statistic.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you. Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you? Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods. Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith. Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
Now, what I just did there was I joined a covenant, which is essentially like factions, maybe. There's, I believe, 9 different covenants in the game, and if you join them, you get sometimes you get spells, you get access to unique gear or perks that let you invade other players' games, for instance. I'll get into covenants later. I just joined this one because it's the first one, and I just wanted to show how you do it. Now right here is an area that not many people know about. If you fall down into this pit, there's a series of treasure boxes that give you some early game items. Not too useful for sorcerers, but you will get 6 homeward bones, and homeward bones are basically used to teleport you back to your bonfire from anywhere in the game. So again, what I'm doing here is I'm running around and collecting a series of items that are going to help me in my early game. I'm collecting these souls, like this large soul of a lost undead, which I said earlier, if I use that item, it will give me just some souls that I can spend. Now, something I didn't cover is if you die in this game, any souls that you had on you, you'll lose. You get 1 chance to get them back. Basically, you're going to respawn at whatever the last bonfire is that you died at, or that you rested at. And you have 1 chance to run back to your corpse, if you will, and if you get back to it, you can recover all of your lost souls and your humanity. However, if you were human, you'll turn back to undead, so you'll have to use another humanity to revert yourself at a bonfire. If you die again on the way to your corpse, then the souls will be lost for good. So that's kind of a pain in the ass, if that happens, which is probably often for new players. Now, these skeletons are kind of tough to kill early game. So I'm trying to run away from them, and I'm going to go around this corner here because there's another item I'm going to pick up, and I'm going to try to kick them off the corner, but I'm pretty sure that they just kick my ass. Now I played that pretty poorly because I totally could have killed them. I just, I freaked out, and I remembered that my shield doesn't have a very high block value, and that's something that is really important in this game. You know, in a lot of action games, I don't really use block and dodge, but Dark Souls and Demon Souls, you actually have to use your shield, and the different shields have different defensive values, like fire resist, lightning resist, physical block, and those all take a big part in your active defense, but you actually have to hold your shield up. So the shield that I'm starting with here has pretty much no defense at all, so the skeleton swords were able to damage me right through the shield. Now right here you can see that I died, and there's my corpse. When I run back to it, I'm going to get the souls that I had before, which is only 272, which is nothing, but you can see it in action. Now the next thing I'm going to do, and I do this with all of my early game characters, is I'm going to go down into the new Londo Ruins. What's neat is the entire game is interconnected, so all the different zones are easily accessible from all over the place. And this zone is kind of for, well, it's not for new characters at least, so I'm essentially going to run past all of the characters, or run past all of the enemies. What's unique about this zone is the enemies are ghosts, so you have to use an item called a transient curse to even be able to hurt them, which I'll pick a couple of them up here, but I'm not going to use them yet. I'm going to run past them because there's what's called a Firekeeper soul that I'm going to pick up, which allows me to buff my Estus flasks to Estus Flask +1, which basically lets them heal them for more health. There's also right here an Estus, I think that's how you say it, which is a sword, and I'm actually going to use this right now as my early game weapon until I get a falcon. It's not great, but what's nice is that it stabs forward in a forward motion, or a thrust I guess, which is really useful. The PlayStation version of the game, at least, has some frame rate issues with this zone. Now here's the ghosts, and yeah, they kind of fuck you up pretty good, so you gotta run past them. I was pretty sure I was gonna die here, but I'm pretty sure I get out of it okay. And then you hang a right, and right here there's a thin ledge, or a thin walkway that you'll walk through, and a whole bunch of ghosts come up. So you kind of got to just bob and weave past them and not fall into the water. And there's the Firekeeper soul. But then you're fucked. Yeah, whatever. Only lost 300 souls. It's not a big deal. Now, right beneath the Firelink Shrine here is a Firekeeper, and every time you talk to a Firekeeper, they can reinforce your Estus flasks with any Firekeeper souls that you got. So now you see I have an Estus flask +1, which again allows me basically to heal myself for larger amounts, which is a pretty significant advantage right from the start. Now I'm going to go back down into the new Londo Ruins, but instead of going towards those ghosts, I'm going to hang a right, and I'm going to use the Master Key, which is the item that I started with, which is the item that I recommend every class start with, because it's the only item that I believe that you can't get, or you can't get it until late in the game, and it gives you some early advantages by letting you unlock all these doors. And the door down here is going to take me to the Valley of Drakes, which has a soul in it. I'm also going to go and pick up a really good shield called the Dragon Crest Shield, which has good fire resist and good physical damage resist, 100% physical damage resist. And a sword that I'm not going to end up using, but it's good for faith-based characters, or healers, if you will. And then get one-shot by a big fucking undead dragon. Now here I'm going to look at the statistics for the shield, and I'll see that it has the 100% physical reduction, as well as 85% fire damage reduction, which is good. I also looked at my encumbrance, because you want to keep your total item encumbrance under 50% of your allotted value, so that you can run quicker. As mages, I'm going to try and keep it under 25%, which allows me to run and roll a lot quicker. So here I'm going to use all of the souls that I've gathered, and then finally level up a bit. Now I'm going to decide to spend some points in Vitality and Endurance. Vitality is my health bar, and Endurance is my stamina and equipment load. Both very important statistics, probably the two most important statistics for PvP. Now the final thing I'm going to do here is something that I've not done on any characters before, but I wanted to give it a shot. In the zone called Blighttown, there's a set of pretty freaking good armor for mages or sorcerers called the Crimson Set. So and because I have the Master Key and I unlocked the door to the Valley of Drakes, I've essentially unlocked a shortcut to this zone called Blighttown, which is like the 4th zone that you would go to in a normal playthrough. And I'm going to try to go through the back door and get this gear, which is pretty tough because there's little fuckers that shoot darts at you that turn you toxic if you don't have poison resist, which essentially drains your life bar really quickly. There's little bugs that shoot poison at you. There's big fat asses that'll one-shot you, so it's kind of a risky move early game, but I wanted to give it a shot, and, well, we're going to try anyway. So here we come to the fat asses, and these guys can really put a beating on me. So I'm going to try and pull them out. And that's a technique that's really good in this game, is to try to single pull. And it didn't work with these guys, so I'm not going to be able to even fight them one-on-one. So I'm just going to run past them. There's another one here, and I'm just going to aggro them and keep on going as well, because obviously I can't take on 3 of them. Up ahead here in a treasure chest on the left is a key that you would normally not find until you've went through this zone the regular way, and then you're on your way back without the master key, but I'm just going to skip it. And I'm going to try to get down these as quickly as I can, because these little flying fuckers are going to come up and start shooting poison at me. I find that I'm not doing any damage to this guy, so I'm just going to get the fuck out of here. And the crazy asshole just jumped off the ledge, so now I'm kind of in a predicament. Now the bugs are here. He's here. I'm starting to take some damage. I'm getting poisoned. And now the dark guys are shooting shit at me. I'm losing all my health. I'm just totally fucked. Why you dead? It seems like I'm way the fuck back tracked now. I'm back at the Firelink Shrine, but I said, fuck it, I'm gonna give it one more go. Whoop! I just ate shit. Try to single pull again, and of course it doesn't work. So run past the fat fuckers again. If you're playing with a stronger character, you know, a warrior or whatnot, these guys are a little bit easier to handle. They're easiest if you just run right at them and backstab them. To backstab in this game, you gotta essentially be right behind your target and not be holding your shield up when you attack. And then you'll do a backstab, which does either 1.5 times or 2 times damage. I guess it probably is based on what weapon you have. So this time I'm just straight going to run by everything and get down these as quick as I can. Trying to avoid the poison dart fuckers, the bugs, that fire breathing, that asshole. And just get down. Now here, we've got several of those poison dart fuckers shooting their toxic darts at me. The bugs are chasing me, and I've got to run over this little branch here. And I got this bug here that I got to kind of maneuver around. So, I mean, it's pretty tricky. But, lo and behold, I made it. Here's the Crimson set with a new wand or a new catalyst that's significantly better than I had as far as damage is concerned, because if you press the R2 button, you can actually use your wand as a melee weapon, which I'm actually going to end up doing for a lot of my early game until I get the Falcon. Now, it seems pretty risky to go back through all that shit again, so I'm going to use a homeward bone, which I got from the chest earlier underneath those elevators, and it takes me right back to the Firelink Shrine. So here we see that it does 145 physical damage when I use my R2 move, which is a lot better than what I had before. It's gonna make me deal less magic damage because its magic adjust statistic is a little bit smaller than what I had before, but not significantly. So my spells will hit a little less hard, but I'm gonna be able to actually deal some decent melee damage. And what's nice is this is it's a thrust weapon again, instead of a strike, which the other one had. So I'm gonna be able to poke at enemies from afar, which well, it's pretty overpowered for the beginning. And this is pretty much going to be the ending of the preparations that I did for early game. So I got the Dragon Crest shield, I got a lot of souls, was able to get some good levels up. And now I'm going to put on the gear and start to look like a badass and really get ready to fuck some shit up early game. If you enjoyed this, stay tuned for the Undead Burg.